So somehow this video has been the hardest one to film out of everything I've done so far and had to talk about. The one that requires the least amount of effort and is literally just an update about like the everyday stuff has taken me 2 days now to try to get my thoughts together to film this. Oh boy. But here we are. So this is what I'm gonna call, I guess, a reality check. Essentially these are just like in between episodes of like the main stuff that we'll be talking about and going over. I mean, this is really like the stuff that made me want to do this whole thing in the first place, because I wanted to document everything about this process and like trying to get my life back together. And while I think the other stuff is important, it's obviously very foundational. Like it lays the groundwork of like things that I need to look back on. It doesn't leave me a lot of time to like discuss, what's actively happening, the everyday struggles as well. So these are basically going to be literally just me talking to the camera and kind of updating about what's happening right now, the struggles that I'm going through, the ones that we have, etc. Today is actually, well, yesterday when I filmed this, it was a week ago that everything happened, but it's now been a week since I've been back here. So I guess, I didn't really plan it to be like this, but I guess it's a very good point to kind of fill you guys in on what's been happening so far, kind of where we're at and what my immediate plans are. I guess we'll start talking, I guess, with the hard stuff first. Mentally, this week has been very kind of up and down, I would say. When I first got here, I'll be honest, I really didn't feel that sad about things when I was here. Before I left, like in the airport the night before, while I was still in North Carolina, I was definitely a lot more like tore up about everything. But I think once I got here, I kind of realized like as much as I want to be really sad about it, the situation needs me to keep my composure and it needs me to keep my head on straight. And so until I think I'm in more of a vulnerable place, in a more stable place, with everything that's going on, I don't think I'm going to feel that sad. That being said, the last few days have been kind of hard. There was a gap in between, one of the episodes on this, on the videos on the channel, because that day I didn't want to do anything. I just started thinking, and so I have moments where it hits me, especially like just things that remind me of what that life was like. And but I do my best to try to stay busy and try to get myself out of it immediately, but I also do know that I need time to sit with that. So it's kind of like a catch-22, because if I allow myself to sit with it too long, it's bad, but then if I don't feel it at all, it's still bad. So I've been doing like a bunch of yard work. I just cleaned up a bunch of weeds and stuff like in our lot, and just trying to like stay busy, stay active. I've been like working out and obviously making these videos and walking, just anything I can to stay active and stay not stewing on these thoughts. But again, it's not like I have any friends out here, and I don't have a car. I don't really have ways of getting around very easily, so I am forced to kind of sit and just deal with it, which kind of sucks. But that's why I've been doing my best to sort of stay as active as I can with what I can. I know it's going to get a lot harder, and I don't like that. It does scare me, because the last time that we broke up, at least I had like a goal in mind. And I was just thinking about this in the shower today, like I had a goal because I needed to prove that I didn't do what thought was happened, and like I was only a few minutes down the road from her at the time, and my mindset wasn't like finality. It was like, this, all I had to do was prove that what happened didn't happen, and everything would come back together. And it did, but I had like a focus. But now I feel the finality of it all, and while I still have a focus, which is obviously getting my life back together, um, it's not like that. I know that's something that can't immediately happen. And so it, I guess just sitting, knowing that it's a long, drawn out process also makes the pain feel very long and drawn out. And I feel like I've done okay for the most part mentally. I think I've done good to keep my head on straight and to, again, like I said, knowing that this situation calls for composure and it needs me to be present right now. I feel like I've done a pretty good job at that. But I also, that does frighten me a little bit, because the last thing I want is to basically just stay so composed and so together that I just kind of push these feelings down and never process them. And I just don't think in the long term that is going to be good for me at all. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. But that's kind of at least like the week so far mentally. Oh, some of the wins that we've had within this last week. I've got some new clothes, just a couple of shirts, some more shirts for like interviews and stuff, and so a couple of different t-shirts, because when I tell you, all I have like up until that point was like, I think I got two t-shirts. I think I brought two t-shirts with me and a bunch of like dress shirts, because my last job I had to like dress up like business casual, so I had like a bunch of like nice shirts, jeans, and some like joggers, what else? Some swimming trunks, and like just the most random stuff. So like, I don't really have clothes that are suitable for A, where I'm at, and B, what I need to do. So I was just able to get a couple different t-shirts and some stuff, which it's not a huge deal, but you know, it was easy to kind of replace some of the stuff that I lost, and like it helps you feel like you're on the right path at least. You know, got some new clothes, got a razor, got some stuff like that. Like, it's the small things like that that kind of make you feel like, okay, well, at least I'm headed in a direction. I'm still not completely at ground zero now. Like, I've taken a couple steps. I have a bed frame now, which is nice. I'm not sleeping on the floor. We put that together the other day, which I won't lie, that was... So at my old job, that's what I used to do. We used to like deliver all kinds of stuff, like furniture, washing machines, what have you, whatever you rented, we deliver. So I'd be putting bed frames and everything together in people's houses all the time, and I don't know, it kind of felt like for a minute that I was at least back at work doing my thing. And like, I know that sounds dumb and a little like psychotic, I guess, but it was a nice little escape, even though it was very frustrating. I mean, very, very frustrating. This actually happened yesterday. I finally got a response from a job for an interview tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. We'll see how that pans out. It was two different positions on the job application, and obviously I want to go for the highest one possible, but we'll see what they allow me to interview for tomorrow. Honestly, any job for right now will be a good start. But that being said, you know, if I'm being completely honest, it does suck. Because, you know, with my last job and even the job before that, I had finally gotten to a point where I wasn't just like working dead-end jobs, you know, that had no future to them, right? And both of the jobs that I've had out there and like the point I was at in my life, I felt like I was finally found a career. And I was making moves that like would give me a future. You know, it wasn't just like working at one job that I know that realistically is not going to be the rest of my life, but I just don't see a way forward. Like, I was working jobs that believed in me and that I believed in, and I actually had just gotten another job before all this happened that was going to be like, honestly, like my next move. Like, that was the next big career step for me, and I was very excited about it. And so now to have to start back at square zero essentially and work, you know, potentially jobs that I know that I have worked so hard to not have to work again, it does suck. But in a situation like this, you have to swallow your pride and you have to be willing to do whatever it takes. And that's obviously what I'm going to do. You know, I mean, even if it requires me to work something that I know that I have overcome at this point, I'm going to do it, because no matter what, every step in that direction is a positive step, and none of this is permanent. And that's what I have to remind myself is, I don't have to be locked in this situation. As soon as I get enough saved up and as soon as I made enough moves, like, the world is literally going to be my oyster. Like, I could go anywhere, do anything at any time. And so I just have to be willing to swallow my pride now and, do whatever it takes now, because in the long term, like, that's not going to be my forever. And I have to remember that. I have to try to keep that mindset in everything that I do going forward in this, because it's very easy to be like, well, I was just doing this. Like, I'm not about to flip burgers for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? Nah, honestly, I am very excited, and, it's a step in the right direction. We'll see tomorrow. As long as I, have a good interview, hopefully we'll get the job on the spot, and we'll be one step closer to at least getting some wheels. And then, taking it from there. So I'd say this week, we've definitely taken some very big strides. I think we've done a lot of things that are steps in the right direction and are building a good framework for, getting my life back in order. Again, just trying to stay busy and just trying to, realize that whatever it takes is what you're going to have to do, and trying to just stay as composed as possible. Because it is a lot to deal with this, a lot to process, and there are days where I feel like I'm hopeless, and there have been days this week that I felt like I'm gonna crush this, and like I'm literally gonna be like a billionaire. But that's also just comes with the mental illness of things. So, yeah, that's pretty much been this first week recapped. I don't think I left anything out really, just, trying to take it a day at a time. And I think with these, every episode, I want to try to set a goal, at least for the next one, or whatever frame of time that I'm going for. So I'm thinking this week, obviously, the main goal is to get the job. I think without that, that is literally the first key to unlocking the rest of the possibilities on this journey. So if we can get the job, then I think we'll be in a good position at least to start planning what our immediate goals are going to be in terms of what we want to save for first, what our short-term plan is, and what our long-term plan is. And I think those are going to be episodes too, just kind of talking about like what I want, what direction I want to go, stuff like that. So that's the immediate goal, hopefully. So the next time that we do this, I'll tell you that I have a job at least, and because the interview's tomorrow morning, so maybe we'll have one tomorrow, and I'll be able to update you. If not, then the next time that we do, we'll have some news. Other than that, that's pretty much it. These, again, aren't going to be super crazy. It's literally just me talking, and they won't be super long. Again, I do apologize. The other ones have been kind of dumb long, but I think in the case of like what was being talked about, it needed that length, because that was the super like sped up version, but I think it needed that because, again, those are foundational pieces to the whole puzzle that we got to put together here. So in the future, though, they probably won't be that long, hopefully. And other than that, I think that's about it, really. We'll see you guys on the next reality check. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next episode. Hopefully that'll be either tomorrow or the day after. I don't know, but we'll see you guys next time. And thanks for your time, your energy, your love, and peace out, big dog. Out.